Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. I have another interesting video. Well, we'll see how it goes, right? This is a computer that was here a couple of days or almost a week ago from Hawaii. This is a Ford Lightning. Let me just see the whole. Yeah, it's a 2003 Ford Lightning from Robert in Hawaii. It's a EK02. And now he has concerns. He said when he got the computer back, and now the injectors are firing just with the ignition on. I'm like, that sounds very weird. I never experienced that here. So let me, because I corrected the fuel pump, and he said actually the fuel pump is not coming on still, and the injectors are firing by itself, which is very odd. I never seen this before. So let's dive into the test as I normally do. I have the information and everything ready. Let me just show you. All right, so this is a computer connected, so he can see. He asked me not to write on the computer, so I had his name in a note that he's going to know that this is his. It says fuel pumps not priming, injectors running continuously with just key on. And I have a video that he sent me. Let me play that. I'm not sure how much you will be able to hear, but I would like to show you that. So he's recorded a short video.
Engine off. Injectors. Keys on.
He's on.
Off.
Engine off. And I can hear the tick, 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 all the injectors.
Firing.
And all the way around, which is really odd. So he recorded. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just let's just send the computer back to me. I want to know exactly what happened and see if I can reproduce it here. So I have the computer on the bench. I have not done anything as far as programming the parameter reset to fire everything, because every time you connect another computer to the cluster, you need to do a parameter reset. Nothing to do in the vehicle as far as, or not in the vehicles. Like for him, it will be just a plug and play, because the computer actually doesn't hold any information. It's the cluster itself, the one that allows the computer to start and run. So I haven't done that. But if we can see in the video, or how we can see in the video, it's just with ignition on. So I have the foolproof, the new version. Yes, I bit the bullet and I bought the new version of that software. Let's see how that goes, because they promise that this is not going to be an increase on the license. This is just a one-time payment on the software they have been using for 15 years and so on. And I'm like, you know what? Let me see. I don't know exactly what am I gaining with. I actually see that I lost a few things that I have as far as using the software, but we'll see how it goes. So let me connect to, or select the correct vehicle. I'm in Ford. The menu has changed, as you see. I'm going to use not the escape, because I'm looking at the escape and it's well, these are all B6 Explorer B6. So they're all the vehicles they have is just B6. They don't have a B8. So no, I can use the same escape B6, because it's going to be just 6 cylinders either way. And then we're going to test the computer. So this, as you see now, well, it didn't change. So let me reselect the window. Not sure. Oh, it actually opens a separate window. So I have to bring this one down, and let me create a new window capture in here. It's going to have to be temporary, so I'm just going to make it temporarily, and then that we can see. No, that's not the window. All right, so give me 1 second, guys, to see how I can select that. All right, yeah, that software doesn't let me actually select the window. I have to actually select the display, put them as small in there, so you guys can see better. All right, so yes, as you can see, well, the menu has changed completely. Everything is very different. I'm going to get used to it. Let me select the correct signal, which in this case is 51. And I'm not going to inject it yet, because we want to make sure that everything is just ready. So we can select terminal 30, terminal 15, which is, everything that I always do. I'm going to bring those down to the minimum, like I normally do in temperature, the map at 1 volt, around there. I'm going to keep those values, throttle position around there as well. So that should be all good to go. But I want to power on, so you will see the gauge. Let me actually put that a second, guys. Yeah, like that. You can see the cluster when the cluster comes on. What is the 5 more? Yeah, we got the meters on the bottom for terminal 30 and terminal, what it says, amp perimeter, voltmeter. So I got a voltmeter. Not sure if this is going to work on this, but we'll see. So let me power this up. Let me increase the amperage a little bit since I have the cluster in there. So I'm putting the ignition and sorry, the battery and then the ignition now. And I do have 2 injectors firing without nothing connected or nothing running. I don't have all, but I have 2. Yes, I do have the 5-volt reference in there. It's not showing me the, oh, it's amp meter, not volt meters now. But I can definitely see 2 injectors, injectors 1 and 3. Let me unplug them. Let me actually move the view to here. Not sure how much you can see those lights flickering in there, but that should not be because I'm not injecting, and that should be happening because I'm not injecting any signal. So we do have an issue with injectors in here. Let me just double check to make sure that indeed it's number 1 as I have it connected here. You see, as soon as I disconnected that one, it went over to number 2 as well. Now it's only 3. And I cannot hear anything now. Now 4. It's very odd. So something is really, really weird here. So definitely we can reproduce his concern. So let me open this computer to see exactly what happened here, because I didn't notice this when I first run it, but we can see the injectors are definitely firing with nothing in there. Let me actually run it. Let me put 400 RPMs in here. This is going to be a little different again. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I can manage to move that in there. And let me run it 1, 2, 3. We can see 2 coils, so this is exactly the same thing as before. We got 2 coils and 2 injectors firing, and I have all the coils actually firing, and 1 injector looks like it's firing properly, but then the other 2 are weird. But yeah, we definitely have an issue here. So let me just, we can see the RPM, so that part of the computer is good. And let me open it up to see exactly what's going on in here, because this is very odd. All right, Robert and guys, let me do my tests and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I think I found the problem. It's actually, these computers uses a pre-driver for the injectors. It's a very robust component that is on the other side of the board, but it's very close to the microprocessor. And it looks like it has some sort of corrosion or something in there. Not sure how that got there because I was expecting very good, but those pins were shorted. So I remove it, replace it, and let's retest. So we don't really even need to run the computer. So what the problem was, actually, let me keep you here and not there, right? So let me keep you here. And I'm going to turn this lamp out so you can see better. Well, I need to show you when I turn it on. So I'm going to just turn the ignition on and I'm going to put the full probe on the screen. So let me actually, can I do that here? Yes, I can. Perfect. So, and I think that might stay all the way. Let me see if I turn this one on. Yes, it does. Perfect. So that's the view that we want in a second. All right. So what we want to see first is I'm going to put the battery on and then ignition in 1, 2, 3. And you can see fuel pump did the prime, which that's one of his concerns. The fuel pump was not doing the prime and the injectors was firing constantly. I should have had that light before. I forgot about that and I read the note, but we will see now if the fuel pump is. It's definitely that whole IC controls all that. So Robert and guys, that is definitely the issue. This is the IC that I'm talking about. As you can see, it has a nice and strong back end ground path because it controls activations of relays and the pre-drivers for the injectors and also coil circuit. Kind of like passes through there as a gate. Well, but we don't have anything running like before. I'm going to move you over here. Now we don't have any firing of injectors, no lights, everything is normal. I already did the parameter reset so we can, or I can run this with no TEF light coming on. So again, if you see here the cluster, I'm going to power it off. And you'll see in a second how the TEF light, it will flash. Let me see. Yeah, it is doing a very dim, kind of like right here. You can see it in there. Okay, I'm going to turn the ignition back on. 1, 2, 3. You see the TEF light comes on, the fuel pump does a prime, and the TEF light goes out. So now the computer is, or the cluster is accepting this computer to run everything. So let's now inject the signal. I have signal 51, and I'm going to put 400 RPMs, which is what I usually use here. And now we can see injectors and coils firing properly. So again, we only have 4 injectors and 2 coils. It didn't change, so I have not really experienced any difference. Spending almost $2,000 on this new software. Not really too happy about that spending yet. I will hope they prove that I'm wrong and there is actually a difference, because before we have the injectors next to the coils, but it was 4 injectors and 2 coils, or 2 spark plugs. You can see a little more in there than before because it was very small. That's the only thing I can see. But I mean, again, that's just a look. Why are they transferring that cost over to the users of the tool? I'm not sure, because we're paying for a yearly license, which that should include anything that you are coming up later on. I mean, if I pay you $500 or $600 a year for 10 years, you already got $6,000 plus. I bought the tool, so it's very, very odd. All right, let's go over here. So you can see all the lights now firing. You see, those are the lights for the injectors and the coils. They're all the 8 firing and unison. Everything is working good. So I'm going to turn now the ignition off in the software, keeping this on. I'm going to turn the ignition once again and then run it at 400 RPMs until I release the needle. Right there is when the computer will receive the signal. So now, and we can see how that is instantly. It's telling that we're drawing around 0.38 amps. I guess so many spam calls. I don't know if you do, but I'm tired of that. But yeah, everything is working good. I'm going to change the signal to run this in higher RPM for signal 7. Hopefully it's the same again. And then let me go over a little over 1000 RPMs. And now it's running. Yep. I'm going to bring it down to 700 or so. 7, yeah, in there. Now the firing is in order, because when you're firing and, you know, up to 400 RPMs or so, the computer will fire the injectors all at the same time, just to get you to start. And then when the car runs and it sees a higher RPM, it now takes the firing order, and it goes from not a whole injector firing because it's, you know, filling the intake with fuel to let you crank and start quickly, right? But after that, then it goes into a sequential firing for all the injectors each at a time based on the cam and crank correlation signals. And I can hear the rhythm. Everything is working now as it's supposed to. And we have the fuel pump relay on. This is connected to terminal 80 in the computer, which is the fuel pump control directly from the computer over to the relay. So everything, Robert, is now fully tested. I'm so sorry about this. I don't know how I missed that, or if that was just during shipping. Maybe it got moved a little bit of it was a little small blob, and it was under the clear code on the other side of the module. So it's very hard sometimes as for a human to see things like that. And I try to test everything. You saw the videos and everything. And I'm trying always to over stress and overreach, or not overreach, or over test everything. So when it gets back to the customers, everything is fine. But We can always fail, but I am completely transparent, completely honest. This is no charge to Robert. I even sent him return label paid by me. I'm covering all the expenses, all the repairs, and everything is done. Everything is done proper. So as you can see now, your computer is fully operational. I'm going to keep stressing the tests here. If it's something that I need to bring you guys, Mac and Robert, I will do so. But otherwise, this will be just in the back end doing myself the test, so I don't have to keep you for hours just looking at a screen, right? Guys, thank you so much. I hope that you understand that what I'm trying to show you here is the very big difference from my business, from my person, compared to anyone else. I actually separate my business and my, work ethics completely from anyone else. Why? Because there is no other company that shows you the reality and tells you it was their mistake. They're usually, no, it was nothing wrong, and they send it back to you, and good luck. No, I am actually stressing the test, right, to reproduce the concern from the customer, correct the problems, showing you that, and accepting that was my error. How that happened? Well, I'm human, right? So I'm not perfect, and I never say that I am, but I am very responsible, very transparent, and this is what I want to share with all of you. When you send something to Mike Salazar Diagnostics, you are in the best hands, period. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.